Hi, I'm Erica on my phone and welcome to another video. Today we are listening to Flamboyant by Dorian Electra. I am very excited to get into Dorian's work. I've heard of Dorian through a couple of songs. I know that they're very popular within the hyperpop community, but I've only heard them as a featured artist. I've heard them on the Friday remix from Rebecca Black, which is a bop for no reason, but it's so good. And then, as we explored last month, we also have the replay Dorian Electra remix from Dawn of Chromatica. Such a good album entirely, but especially like that. This is like one of the top ones I return to. That one plus the Fun Tonight Pablo Vittar remix. Those two are on replay. So I'm really excited to get into what their debut album was. I'm happy to get into my agenda if you all are interested in that, but I figured I definitely wanted to start with their first work so we can at least go in chronological order. I think there's a deluxe version of my agenda coming out soon as well. I also am not reacting to the deluxe of Flamboyant today because I figured if you guys want me to listen to the deluxe tracks, you'll let me know. But for now, we're just going to go into the original 11-song album. It's just over 30 minutes. Sounds like a good listening experience. I'm excited for some probably hyperpop or whatever the electronic music that Dorian's making. I mean, if they're making something that's like completely different than that for their first album that they just switched up for my agenda, cool, that's cool too. I'm just excited to really dive into their work and when they are the main artists on the project, like what they choose to make. Thank you for requesting this video, and anyway, let's get into it. Track number 1 is Mr. to You. Okay, feels sunshiny. First name basis is not like that. Don't get too casual. Ooh, this makes me want to dance. Don't get confused. It's Mr. to You. We're on a formal basis. I want to keep it formal with you. I jumped the gun on that. Now you know just what to do. I know this is going to sound amazing in headphones, and that goes for the rest of the album too. Ooh, I like this breakdown. Oh, I think they said Dorian Electra in the background, so Mr. Dorian Electra. Ooh. Nobody calls me that but you. Oh, that was a nice ending. So it was Mr. to You, and what a way to start the album. It's a fun little, like, pop, club, dancing, electronic jam. I really enjoyed it sonically. Like, I know it's gonna be a song to just vibe to. It's gonna get instantly stuck in my head. Like, it's already stuck in there. And lyrically, it's about Dorian requesting that the person that they're talking to call them Mr. instead of, like, their first name. And at first, like, it's about, like, you know, you think it's gonna be about, like, something professional or, you know, just saying, like, you don't know them in a personal way. But it's actually the opposite, that this person is very personal to them, and it might be, like, an intimate kind of thing, like something that, you know, is suggestive and used in some sort of role play probably. Because it's, I don't make anybody call me Mr. but you. So, yeah, I think it's something special. I doubt that they just dislike this person so much that they are literally the only person who cannot call them by their first name. I feel like that's the case. And also, it's going to be a symbol of transitioning into being gender fluid, which Dorian identifies as. And, like, I'm very excited for it. It seems like we also have a lot of songs on here that are going to refer to masculinity of sorts. Like the next one, Career Boy, Daddy Like, Emasculate, Man to Man, and that's just the first half. So, like, it's interesting to see that, like, kind of, like, focus. I feel like, for example, Arca had a lot of songs that, like, specifically referred to, like, feminine things. And so I think it's just very interesting, you know, the type of inspirations that people get for their music. And yeah, I'm excited to dive in deeper into this project. Track number 2 is Career Boy. Career Boy. There's one thing on my mind. Is it something kinky? I can never fight the feeling. Working so hard after hours. Okay. I'm a career boy. I got that one track mind and I'm working overtime. I like these synths that like accompany Dorian here. Pure joy. Okay. This kind of feels like the breakdown that we get at the end of Replay. Nothing's ever gonna make me stop. I love the way it hurts. Face down on the desk. It's lonely at the top. So that was Career Boy. And this song continues down the explicit route. You know, I'm monetized now, so I'm trying to make sure I pick my words carefully. This is really just about it's an innuendo, really, of like Dorian and their partner or their interest. I don't even want to call it a love interest because I don't know if it's fully love, but it's very much about like intimacy, and there's some innuendo specifically like with like work and stuff like that, and it seems like it kind of goes down like the special interest of like office type innuendos and office type intimacy, like face down on the desk, like, okay, yeah. Dorian's really laying it all out there, and I appreciate them doing that. Like, I really think that, I think the innuendos work here. I think it's nice. Sonically, I do like certain parts of it. One part that I don't care for as much is that in the chorus, it seems like it kind of goes from like higher to a lower voice, and it's like, you know, like synthetically created to change the pitch. It's not going to naturally do that. But for me, I think it gets a little too distorted for me. I do like the career boy. Like, I'm okay with like when it goes up higher. It's when it goes lower than one's natural vocal register, it gets like a little weird for me. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know, like just I feel like that was the thing that everyone did in like 2017 or something like that, and it just wasn't my vibe. Like, I know when I talked about Emotion from Carly Rae Jepsen, the song Warm Blood does that like really like lower voice, and I just can't stand it. It just is a song turn off for me. And so for me, I think I'll give this one a chance. It's not going to be as exciting as Mr. To You, and really any other song that's going to have like a lower voice thing is just probably not going to be that great for me. Like an artificially like deeper voice that like no one can really create, like that's just really not as much for me. But like, I like the sentiment of the song. I think it's creative, and I'm still, again, excited to see how explicit we really get on this album. Track number 3 is Daddy Like. D-A-D-D-Y. Daddy Like. 1, 2, we're counting. I like it like this, I like it like that. I wanna love you all the time. I'll buy you nice things. Oh, Dorian's Daddy Like. Yeah, that's an artificialness that I'm not sure if I buy. And that's even deeper. You see my issue? Daddy Like that. Ugh. So it was Daddy Like, and I appreciate the sentiment of the song in terms of taking the term daddy, which would generally not be used to describe Dorian Electra, and making, you know, them that daddy character. I like that, and I appreciate that. Sonically, I like the production. It's, again, the voice thing. And also, I have a problem with the word daddy in general. And I appreciate Dorian reclaiming it for something else and having a different meaning where it's like this kind, supportive partner person, and like kind of still being that sugar daddy, but like in the less creepy way, I guess. I don't know. Like for me, I have a problem with that. I don't have a dad in general, so no one's ever gonna make me call them daddy. It's just never gonna happen. No one's gonna be the first. So like, I don't know. I just have like, it's just such a weird word to me because I've never said the word dad or daddy like to a person and like meant it really. So like, it's, I don't know. It's just an interesting like turn of phrase that I just don't really care for that word. And that word is obviously in this song a lot. But that's not on Dorian. Like that's a me thing. Like I think Dorian, reclaim this term, and I think for them like it's really cool, and I think sonically otherwise, besides the lower pitching and the use of daddy several times, like it was a good time. So I am still excited for this album. I feel like I've had kind of 2 duds in a row for me. Oh, Career Boy I probably will like more. I feel like, I don't know, I mean it could be something that kind of gets stuck in my head and I'm like, oh nice, but I don't know. Yeah, for now, it's not my thing, but we'll move on, and it doesn't turn me away from the project. Track number 4 is Emasculate. Okay, I'm already obsessed with this production. I have the speed of a fox. Emasculate Me. There's a lot of like production, and it's heavy, so I can't always decipher everything. Oh my god. This production is insane. Can't tell a single lyric, but sonically a vibe. What you're doing now, I can't repeat it. Oh, that rasp in their voice. Iconic. So that was Emasculate. And that sonically was a vibe. I had fun with that. And like there's like some like heavier production elements that remind me of an Arca moment. Like, yeah, I like the song sonically. Lyrically, it's distinct. I mean, I had to look up those lyrics because I really could not tell besides the Emasculate Me line. But like, it's apparently like spoken from like this like male perspective of like this masculinity, this testosterone is just like all hurting him, and he just wants to get rid of get rid of that and be emasculated, and like I guess it's kind of like a castration thing. Yikes. But like I don't know, I felt like it was supposed to be like some sort of like domination thing, in that like if he finally feels like dominated, then like, you know, like that toxic masculinity will be like gotten rid of. I don't know, it's a very interesting song that I think there's a lot to unpack in terms of that. I mean, it's a song that I guess I didn't not expect Dorian Electra to talk about, but it's also a song I didn't like think existed. So like, yeah, I mean, sonically a vibe, lyrically, it's something to think about, you know, just like about like this toxic masculinity. And I agree, masculinity can be very toxic. Yeah, I have questions, if that makes sense. And I have to think about, you know, this character having like this castration fantasy. I don't know how I feel about that or how much that makes me interested in listening. Track number 5 is Man to Man. Ooh, this is like synthesizer land. You know I ain't straight, but I'm gonna say it straight to you. I wanna be clear and not convolute. So you wanna play rough in the parking lot? I just wanna fight with you. Are you tough enough to open up? You gotta let me in. Oh, they want to open that person up. You gotta put your fists away. You're acting tough, but I know you're not. But acting cowardly, yes. I love that pre-chorus, and now it's the outro here too, the parking lot one. Ooh, continue synthesizing a little bit. Ooh, I like that ending. You have got to let me in. So that was Man to Man, and I like that song. Sonically, it just had this group, da 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 da. Like, I like the melody of it. I just like the rhythm of it. It was just like a chill bop, and I liked this version of tackling toxic masculinity in a much different way than Emasculate Me, because Man to Man is really just like, first of all, that you know I ain't straight, but I'm gonna say it straight to you. Iconic opening line. But Dorian here is discussing like how men generally are not opening up about their emotions, how they kind of like are closed off. They don't really let themselves be vulnerable. They all think that, you know, being tough is like some sort of like show of strength, and that being super manly is that, rather than like opening up with a dialogue instead of like violence and stuff like that. And yeah, like, agreed. I like to talk a lot more than fight. I don't really like fighting at all. It's not something I enjoy doing. So like, yeah, I thought the song was nice. I thought it was a theme that I could much more easily get behind and understand. Emasculate Me is a little much. I get it, but at the same time, it's not for me in terms of the lyric message, but I do like it sonically a lot. So Man to Man strikes that balance of, I like this song and I can get behind this message fully. Track number 6 is Musical Genius. Ooh, that started sounding very like old school. This feels like the keyboard that's over in that corner. Doesn't sound like Dorian can breathe right now. Okay, Dorian, you can sing like that. Musical genius. Mom told me I deserve it. And genres and genres and more. That's a lot of genres here. Won't you be my fan? And the way they sing that, wow. Dorian Electra. What is this outro? Very confused. Ooh, piano. So that was Musical Genius. What a song. What can I say about it sonically other than just listen to this just under 2-minute song and tell me how many different things you heard. I heard a lot. I heard some stuff that I felt like could be synthesized on the keyboard over there. Some stuff that just sounded like regular instruments, like that piano at the end. Like some stuff I don't even know what to tell you. And lyrically, I think it really just is about like the idea of a sense of entitlement kind of in music, and how, you know, someone can create music and it's like, won't you just be my fan? I'm definitely like a musical genius. And like that sense of like, oh, I am like a god when it comes to music. And it definitely runs more with people who identify with he, him, his pronouns, really. Like, it's very common for those type of people to be like, come on, like, I made this album that's incredible. Why haven't I gotten like all this money and all this support yet? And first of all, it's just because one reason is that small musicians just don't get much, and industry connections, and some overnight successes happen, but like a lot of things are based on who you know rather than what you know. And like, yeah, I thought this was an interesting song because, yeah, I think it refers to like that mom says I'm great and I deserve it, so that means like I must deserve it, and like kind of feeding into that like toxic masculinity of the, oh, I am told that I deserve it, so I must, and society has raised me to just fight for the things I want, so that means I definitely just automatically get it, rather than necessarily earning it, or even like in the case of music, which is just a shot in the dark industry to some degree, like, sometimes you just won't get it. And, like, I think this character that Dorian is playing, especially these past 3 times where we've really gotten, like, characters and addressing, like, something about, like, toxic masculinity, I think that these are 3 different ways of tackling that issue. And I think they're all very interesting, very all Dorian, and I'm here to continue listening on that. Track number 7 is Flamboyant, the album title. Oh, we are continuing with piano. I'm a very flammable guy. I think it's not enough. Don't tell me what to do or say. No taste for subtlety. Ooh, that was cool. I'm flamboyant. Yes, I think musical genius really foreshadowed this type of production. I entertain until it's time to go. I like to get up in your face. I like that that's the only way, how it gets a little rock tinge. I'm flamboyant, I go all the way. Ooh, clapping time. Ooh, I know it drives you crazy. Ooh, distorted flamboyant. Well, we're back to piano time. So that was Flamboyant, and that was just fun. Yeah, I like that. Do-do-do. I'm flamboyant. I go all the way. Oh my god, that's gonna be stuck in my head. At first, I didn't like the way that Dorian pronounces flamboyant. Like, I don't know, it just phonetically did not feel the right way for me. I think I'm gonna get over that in like 2 minutes. I like this song. It's fun. It's really just being like, I'm going to be flamboyant. I'm gonna do it my way. And I think this is just a gay anthem, frankly. Like, I think it's just good. And, like, I looked it up just to hear some of the other lyrics that aren't that I'm flamboyant. But, like, it's really just all about, like, being oneself. And, you know, some people might not like when the LGBTQ plus community is really, like, pushed into their face. And that's just really homophobic and transphobic and biphobic and all the phobics. Like, if you just think, oh, it's like fine as long as they don't show or act like their orientation out. I see straight content all the time. Anyway, it's gross. Anyway, so yeah. I like this song. I think sonically I actually really vibe with it. I like piano going into the dun da da. Yeah, like, again, I keep saying that, but it just really hit me in the right way. And a little rock tinge when it's that's the only way. It's like kind of like anger, but it's like not really like anger. It's more like passion and more like, this is how I feel, and you're gonna respect that because you should, because I respect you, so I deserve that same respect in return. And yeah, I like this song. It's going to be a fun song that's going to get stuck in my head. Yeah. It doesn't go on the same sense of all this, like, critiques on toxic masculinity, really at all. But I don't really care, because there's other songs that aren't really about that. And I'm also down for those as well. Track number 8 is Guyliner. Ooh. What was that? I like that. This kind of gives me the vibe of Tasty from Shy Girl. I'm a guy, don't be surprised. Guyliner. Chicks dig it. Take my time to glamorize. It feels so right. I'm wearing guyliner. They want to wipe me clean? Take off that guyliner? Masculine mascara. They can't stop me now. Oh, I like the whispering of It Feels So Right. Oh, that's a sudden end. So it was Guyliner. It's just about a guy who likes makeup. I don't think it's Dorian themselves. I don't think so. I think it's more about like a cishet guy being like, chicks dig it, like very much just like, yo, I'm a dude, but like I can wear makeup and power to you, honestly. I don't think I can pull off Guyliner. I just don't think I can. It's not like even like, oh, I'm a guy, so I don't know if I can. It's just that I don't know if my vibe is a very edgy look. I think my look is a pastel kind of person. And I don't think like black eyeliner is just really my vibe. I want to try it probably sometime, but not an everyday look. But again, power to the speaker in the song. That's just what it's about. I think I like the song. It doesn't like hit like in terms of like, you know, how cool the production is. It's like a cool production. Like it's chill. It's very much like, you know, a song I could hear like honestly on like the radio. It just is a little more than the radio, but it's not like the amount of experimental that like Flamboyant or Mr. To You or Man to Man or a lot of songs on here that we've experienced. It's like chill. It's there and I don't dislike it, but it's not wowing me. I also, again, really do like the theme of it. And I like that Dorian plays with like different perspectives because I don't think Dorian can be all these people. And I think it's interesting for them to really be playing all these characters. I think it's a little flamboyant of them, honestly, like all the theatrics of it. Track number 9 is Live by the Sword. Ooh, this is kind of like guitar-y. Oh my god. We got electric guitar coming in right now. I could not understand what you just said there. Live by the sword and die by the sword. You get what's yours. I think this is like a karma thing. I'll get what's mine, you get what's yours. I think that's what they're saying. Oh, that's a switch up. Make it a little more ascension, less Oh, that's a growl. Oh, that was succinct. So that was Live by the Sword. And production-wise, sonically, like, that was a good one. That was really good. And lyrically, at first I was like, it sounds just repetitive. I don't really vibe. Like, it's like, okay, live by the sword, die by the sword. What is this? And like, it just traced it back to like, you know, more medieval or, you know, biblical. And I was just like, I don't vibe with it as much. But wait, there's a lot of potential messages for it. And if you think about it, like in terms of like queer people, and like if you think about it going back to Flamboyant, the title track, you act too gay, you know, like you were too visible and like you'll die because of, you know, you're sinning or whatever. And yikes, again. But like, that's an interesting metaphor. But also, there was like someone on Genius Lyrics who was really like, oh, like, you know, men often will defend each other. And it says also in like the last line of the, if you live by the sword, you'll get your reward. Like that sense of like male privilege if you keep defending other men to keep the patriarchy alive. It's rough. You know, down the patriarchy. Not a big fan of him. Not a fan at all, actually. Not even big fan. Not a little fan either. Yeah. This is an interesting song. Again, production-wise, really like it. There's a lot of messages in it. I don't know how I like it with how much repetition is it, but maybe that's because of like the cycle of the patriarchy and that kind of stuff. And there's also another like stanza that like really like kind of hit of the show me like your pain and the tears that you cried, and like kind of like the gatekeeping within the LGBTQ plus community of if you haven't like had like the trauma of, you know, being not straight. Like, for example, if you are just like, oh, I'm just like a regular gay person, a very gay friendly place, or with, you know, gay parents, or just in a place where you just have all that love and acceptance, and you really haven't had to like fight or, you know, face a lot of mental illness because of your like orientation, that's somehow bad. It makes you inferior. And it's not. Like, I mean, obviously, like, praise the people that have gotten us to the point today where a lot of people can, you know, safely be out. Like Marsha P. Johnson, looking at you. All the other people who started like the Stonewall people, like the black trans women really, who really paved that way. But it's very interesting to hear that, and also just the sense of like the show me your pain, that like a lot of queer narratives just have to rely around pain for like straight people to like feel that way. And I think I don't want to like equalize oppression. It's not the oppression Olympics. But like if I think about it, like, you know, if you think about reading about people of color in like your English class, that person is always like, that main character, if they are not white, is almost always going through something super traumatic, like, you know, poverty or slavery or, you know, discrimination or something like that. And it's just like, why do we have those as like our big books for, you know, learning about cultures that and races and ethnicities that aren't our own? Like, why do we have to do that? Like, why can't we just have a story of black joy or of queer joy? Like, why can't we just have those like happen? Why does it have to be like, if there's a queer person, we have to worry about if they're going to be oppressed or discriminated against or, you know, completely killed off, or just be relegated to like a side character. So it's like, if you are like homophobic, you don't have to deal with that. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit on a soapbox, but I'm just like, yeah, I just misrepresentation, honestly. Would love to see more bi people. I mean, I'm recording this around the Bi Day of Visibility, so thinking a lot about it. Also, I think this will come out right before or right around the time of National Coming Out Day, but happy National Coming Out Day to y'all. Yeah, this is like a song. Oh, I think the song is going to grow on me because of the themes. There's a lot packed into here, even if it sounds repetitive at certain points. And I guess it's just how fast it's being delivered and how auto-tuned and how distorted it can be sometimes. But like, I really enjoyed it. It actually is growing on me as we speak, and I've still only heard it once. So I think it's going to sound really good. I also like the more heavier instrumentation within it, especially. Like, it does remind me more of the Replay remix, and that's what got me more into Dorian Electra. And I think I've heard that My Agenda is a lot more on that more edgy style rather than a, you know, hyper pop, just like pop more adjacent. It might go into more hyper pop and edge kind of adjacent instead, which will be very exciting. Track number 10 is Adam and Steve. I know this is a common statement for saying like Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. So I'm thinking in terms of that right now. So we'll see if Dorian goes along with that. In the beginning, four-letter word, L-O-V-E. And God made me. Oh, I love this whispering of God made me. And he loves me. Amen. In the garden, describing some biblical stuff that I don't have background in. Be damned for being a man holding hands. Adam and Steve. God made me just like Adam and Steve. I'm an abomination, but I'm God's creation. Another song that I especially think will sound great in headphones. You've got to believe me, God made me. So that was Adam and Steve. I like that song. I liked it better than I thought I would, because like I was like, oh, is this gonna be like a political statement or a religious statement? And it is to some degree, but it's still like a Dorian Electra song. And we are kind of going more into that edgy sense. Gets me prepared, I guess, for the next album, probably. Yeah, I like this song. It's this kind of born this way, but done by someone who fully identifies as a queer person and a gender fluid person. Like, I like that because I know that Lady Gaga, I think, used to identify as bi, but like in more recent times when she's voicing support for the LGBTQ plus community, she says like as an ally. So maybe she realized that she wasn't, or maybe some of that was just like not knowing how she was feeling, which, you know, she's just like anyone else is able to experiment like if she wants to. But like, yeah, I like this one because it's also a little more different than like a pop radio hit. Like, it's nice. It's basically just like, oh, like God made me this way, like made me this queer person, just like Adam and Steve, and like that queerness, like the fact that like if so many people are naturally like not straight, which is the case, there are quite a few of us. You can't just say, oh, it's just like, oh, you're just drinking the wrong water, or you're just confused, or you just do not like think the right way, or you weren't given a lot of love by your family, or whatever. Like, whatever the excuse is. And the fact is that that isn't true. It's some sort of genetic. I don't really know. Is it even genetic? I don't know. I don't think it is genetic, really, either. Like, it's just how people are naturally to be. And the fact that people are like, oh, like, God will look down upon you. It's like, this is how we were created. And if everyone was born a sinner, like, I don't see why, and I guess Dorian also doesn't see either, why if homosexuality is a sin, which it's not, it actually was translated differently as actually that pedophilia is a sin, which I'll agree with. Like, the idea that homosexuality is like a sin, okay, then stop eating shrimp, stop wearing mixed fabrics, like, stop trying to kill people for the way that they want to love. I don't think Jesus and God and all that look positively upon you for killing someone, for not doing anything like to attack you. Like, I think it's very weird that people like think, oh, well, you know, I can kill someone for how they believe, but, you know, I'm gonna go to heaven at the end of the day. Like, what? What? I don't get that. But yeah, so I like this theme of that God made me and God loves me, and like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep vibing and doing my thing. I'm gonna be flamboyant. And if it pisses you off, that's something you gotta figure out yourself. Track number 11, last track on this album, Freaky for Life. And there's some weird capitalization here. If you know why the capitalization is the way that it is, let me know. I think it's just to be freaky. Ooh. Oh. This kind of sounds like Oh No by Marina. Step on the scene and it feels right. I do it all the time. You gotta get freaky. Freaky for life. I'm taking it down every day. I hear what they call me. I'm a freak forever. Ooh, this guitar? Freaky for life. Oh, that's how it ends. So that was Freaky for Life. What a way to end. Sounds like a classic, like, Dorian Electra song. Like, if someone told me, what do you think Dorian Electra sounds like before listening to this album? I would be like this. I don't know how I would describe it in the words, but it was a good time, and I like it. It's another one kind of like Guyliner, but a little bit above Guyliner in terms of, like, experimentality, where I'm like, sure, it's, like, fine. I think, like, the lyrics, you know, allow it to be a little, like, freakier, you know? You gotta get freaky and just, like, you know, get kinky and like, just like, you know, pushing that edge. I think the lyrics do a lot more of that than the sonics. I think the sonics are very much like pop, hyper pop, just vibing. Like, you can dance to this song. And it's a good song. But I think for me, it's not going to be my favorite on the album, but I do still like it. It definitely doesn't like hit the, oh, I don't like it. But yeah, I think it was just a vibe. I think it's a way to take you out of it. I think it makes you want to listen to more Dorian Electra or more music. It doesn't feel, I guess, like a closing for like your end of your music listening for the day or the night. Specifically in the night, I feel like this is a song to play like at a party or something like that. Yeah, I feel like it takes you out of whatever this project specifically is, but it could easily transition into either going back through the album or going to another project within a similar genre. Like, I think it has that potential. And I don't know why I feel like it does that, but to me, it definitely feels like, oh, like I'm jamming, but like it makes me jam so much that it's definitely not the end point. And maybe that's where the deluxe tracks come in. And I'm going to do that probably another time if you all are interested. So please let me know down in the comments below if you all are interested in me continuing Flamboyant. With that said, we have finished this album. I enjoyed it. It was a good time. It definitely is something that I think a year ago I would have been like, what is this? Like, I would never have listened to it like all the way through a year ago. And I think now that I really have gotten into like Arca and Sophie and like Shy Girl and just like all the people that like are a little more explicit in their words and their sounds are more experimental, I think that has helped me a lot. And I really have gotten into that sound. And I think here, for me, it's a good time. And I really like hearing this Dorian Electra sound and what Dorian Electra has to offer. I'm pretty sure that Dorian Electra does both production and vocals, which is something I always find really impressive for an artist to really do. And yeah, I mean, it sounds good here. Like, it's impressive. It's not something I think I have the capacity to do. And I really just appreciate just how sonically skilled Dorian is. Like, the production sounds all good. Like, even if I don't vibe with like a lower pitch thing, it's like all well super mixed. And like, I think their vocal delivery on a lot of it, when it's not like the synthetically lower pitched, sounds great. And I think just really the range that Dorian Electra can do with their voice is pretty incredible if you think about it. Like, if you even think about like the Replay remix, there's like probably like 4 different like types of singing that Dorian does there. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot that Dorian can do. And if this is the jumping off point into the rest of their discography, like, I think it's a really good place to start. It definitely makes me hungry for what's next. And while I'm not going to love every song on here, it gets me interested. It's not boring ever, which I'm glad about. And I think the themes of these songs are also very, very interesting. It's not just like, oh, it's time for partying. I mean, you can party to them all you want, but like all these songs have some really like topics that I think were so Dorian that Dorian had to create them. And it wasn't just something that Dorian was just randomly thinking. It was like, oh, I'm gonna just throw this into the song. Like, it feels like very intentional. And I like that. With that said, here are some of my favorites. So the top tier, the songs I love, the standouts are the ones I'll play over and over. Songs in the middle are songs I like. I'll add them to my playlist, but they might not be the top of the top. And songs at the bottom are just not really my thing. Doesn't mean they're a bad song, just means they're maybe not for me. And Dorian didn't make this album for me, and that's okay. It doesn't mean it can't be your favorite song. It doesn't mean it's a bad song. It just means it's probably, again, not the most for me. If you like this video, please like it, just comment down below, check me new react and listen to next. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already and you'd like to be. And thanks for watching. This is TurtleStormer. Catch you later.
It's storming turtles from out of the sky. Turtles don't need to know why. Smile big, open your eyes. It's storming turtles, it's storming turtles from out of the sky. Turtles don't need to know why. smile big, open